Hi, I'm George, the Weather Dad, with a major winter storm update. In fact, we have three major winter storms that will be affecting the Midwest over the next week. But for today's video, I'm only going to focus on the one that's going to be developing for us today, tonight, all day on Tuesday, and all day on Wednesday as well. So first, we're going to start this evening. This model run is a projection of what the surface map and what the map should look like by around 6, 7 o'clock this evening. Now, this is just a forecast, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's actually going to happen, but it gives us a pretty good idea of what I think is coming, and it's been fairly consistent over the last several days. There's a lot going on here. So there's Chicago, Illinois, Lake Michigan, there's Indianapolis, St. Louis. By this evening, you should be in some very heavy snow. In fact, potentially even some blizzard-like conditions. And this is going to be very heavy, wet snow here. The center of the storm is back in the Texas Panhandle. Very heavy rains, possibly severe weather down in Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. All that is going to be moving towards the east. Now, this map should verify right around 6, 7 o'clock. Now, right around midnight, look what happens. We actually have two areas of low pressure. We have one you see right there in Louisiana. We see another swirl there in Kansas. And the one in Kansas is the one that's actually going to take over all the energy on this thing. This one's just helping to bring up a lot of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. The interesting aspect about this map is right there. See that purple? That's some very, very heavy, wet snow. It looks like Indianapolis, you're going to be right there on the border line. If you're in Carmel, it looks like you might be able to get some very heavy, wet snow right around midnight or shortly after that. And it's going to change over to all rain. But before that, driving conditions could be very, very tricky during the evening hours there for you. Lafayette, Indiana, certainly. Fort Wayne, Chicago, Champaign, Illinois, no question about that. Look at all this heavy rain and severe weather down towards the southeast. Now, let's work towards Tuesday morning. As this system continues to move up towards the northeast, it's going to bring in a lot of warm air in. So all that heavy snow we just saw will change over to rain. So by Tuesday morning, on your way to work, it may be okay. It's going to be really close to tell. Those of you in Columbus, Indiana, you're going to have, I think, all rain for you as well here in Cincinnati. It looks like Cleveland, you're going to get a nice little heavy dose of rain, snow too before it changes over. But blizzard-like conditions back in Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas, and even up towards Chicago and Wisconsin. Okay, now this is now Tuesday afternoon. The system doesn't move much, but notice all this dark blue. I think Chicago, you may change over to some rain because you're going to be very close to the center of it. But everyone here in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and every point towards the east will see some very heavy rain, potentially severe weather, especially those of you down in Florida there on Tuesday, and then certainly the Carolinas, no question about that. You see this heavy dark blue moving up towards the northeast as well. So, but I think you may even switch over to some rain, but blizzard-like conditions again in this area. As we head towards Tuesday evening, the center of the system continues to move up towards the north. Winds will be extremely strong throughout the Midwest. No question, we'll see wind gusts of 40 to possibly 50 miles per hour. We could be looking at some power outages, and very cold air will be filtering in behind the system. That's why now you're starting to see some blue here showing up in Illinois and even portions of Indiana. Wednesday morning, we do see a lot of snow. This is pretty much going to be light snow. This is going to be Wednesday morning, but look at the dark lines. The closer they are, the stronger the winds. So any snow we get will be blowing and drifting, and it could make driving conditions very, very tricky come Wednesday morning for most of the Midwest. But this system will continue to pull out by Wednesday afternoon. I think most of the snow will have ended, but we could be looking at maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow in this area. And with those winds, once again, driving conditions could be very, very tricky. Now, as this system pulls out, the next one comes in for late Friday and on into Saturday, and that one even looks stronger than this one. And I'll have an update on that storm system and the one following behind that tomorrow morning. Until then, I'm George, the Weather Dad.